No, I didn't lie, this card actually exists. Before I explain, let's read this card. It's an epic weapon for Warlock for 5 mana with 0 attack and 3 durability. Battlecry, draw 4 cards, deal 4 damage to your hero. At the start of your turn, if you control 4 different demons, destroy the enemy hero. This card actually exists, but in Magic the Gathering. You probably know what this game is because you've definitely watched at least one video from Raran talking about it. In Hearthstone, we've already had this type of effect in the past, whether it's Mechathun, Uther of the Ebonblade, or the newest card with this effect, Wheel of Death. In Magic, this card is an enchantment, and in Hearthstone we don't really have this type of card. But in Magic, it's basically something like an aura that can be destroyed by your opponent if they have a specific card. As long as they can't destroy it, it stays on the battlefield for the rest of the game. When I thought of this, I immediately knew that we have something very similar, which is Skull of Manari. Ironically, this has the same mana cost, and that's why I also gave it 3 durability. I'm genuinely curious how good this card would be in Hearthstone if it was released today. Let's use Standard as the example because in Wild there are a lot more combination and it's impossible to cover every single situation. First, we need to talk about how your opponent could get rid of this card. The most reliable way for your opponent is to play Rusted Viper. So, if Demon Warlock became a tier 1 deck, then every single class would play 2 copies of this minion because Warlock would have 2 copies of this card because it's an epic rarity. But realistically, how good would it be now that we know how to counter it? The first reason you might play this card, even though it sounds strange, would be in Pain Warlock. Maybe it would be too slow, maybe not, but I cannot underestimate its potential because when you play it for 5 mana, you immediately draw 4 cards and take 4 damage, which sounds really strong for Warlock in Standard. I think that alternatively, we would use this card even without caring about its alternative win condition. There is a card called Mass Production, which is very popular, but the possible downside is that you are shuffling more copies of this card into your deck, so you are less likely to draw different cards than you need. But let's say you build your deck around this card. Realistically, it's weak, because you need to start your turn with 4 demons on your board, and your opponent will definitely kill at least one of them. So when your turn starts, you don't win the game. There's a very similar card called Mimiron's Head, and even though this is a weapon, so it's a lot harder to kill compared to a minion, realistically this would be such a hard win condition to achieve. If instead it's set at the end of your turn, if you control 4 different demons, destroy the enemy hero, then this would definitely be a lot stronger, because you could play this on turn 5 and then, let's say on turn 10, you would play 4 different demons from your hand, end your turn and win. But no matter how I look at this card, there's just no way anyone would win with this alternative win condition. But in Magic the Gathering there is one huge advantage for this card, which is that in Hearthstone you choose which enemy minions your minions will attack, or if you want to attack the enemy hero. But in Magic the Gathering you are unable to target enemy minions, meaning that the only way you could kill them directly is by using spells. So Magic is 10 times better. However, I looked on YouTube and compared to other competitive decks, this is a very weak deck. So even in Magic, where it's 10 times stronger than it would ever be in Hearthstone, this card is unplayed in competitive decks. I really wanted to highlight this card because I started playing Magic recently and this card caught my eye. So if you found this video interesting and would like to see more crossovers between Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, please leave a comment down below so I know that you are actually interested. And with that, I will say one last thing. Thanks for watching and stay tuned, my friends.